Hello, my name's Michael Keneally and this video is about love energies in March 2020, and it's actually part 2 of our Star Wheel Astrology and Healing newsletter for March 2020. Now the point is that Venus has been wonderfully exalted in Vedic Pisces in February, but at the start of March, Venus has moved into Vedic Aries, and Venus transits Vedic Aries until the 28th of March. And Venus in Aries generally is problematic. Also, the other important point I'll be talking about is there's a very important Venus-Uranus transit during March. So the first point I want to make is to ask you to focus on maybe what you experienced around Venus for the time when Venus was in Vedic Pisces, where Venus is exalted. And I do feel that there was around a happier energy for love and relationship, and I know people who had their artistic expression sort of suddenly come through much more strongly, reassert itself while Venus was in Vedic Pisces. So what I'd ask you to do is to bring that awareness from February, the Venus exalted in Pisces period, bring that awareness as to the nature of a higher level of love. What are needed better strategies in your love relationship? What might you have been pushing out of your life in respect of your artistic potential? And the reason I'm suggesting that is hang on to those realizations, make a note of them so that you can hang on to them now that Venus has entered Vedic Aries and will be transiting Vedic Aries until the 28th of March. And I want really to make the important point that sidereal Vedic astrology with the sidereal signs, the 12 sidereal signs, does so accurately express these points of energy change when a planet moves from one side to the other. And indeed I moved from working in Western astrology to also working in Vedic astrology in the 90s, when I found that Vedic astrology declared something utterly correct about the very unusual circumstances of my birth that Western astrology didn't even know of. But of course that was just the start. So really what I'm saying is it's so important to have awareness of when planets are moving through the different signs, what standing a planet has in these different signs, and also the energy of the 27 sign lunar zodiac, the nakshatras, the deeply wonderful declaration of the 27 nakshatras that Vedic astrology has. So get a reading from me from my Star Wheel Astrology website, or study one of my courses. I also do a nakshatra course. You can see details of that on my Master Vedic Astrology website. And of course I always offer the combination of this supreme declaration of Vedic astrology with the very needed declarations of evolutionary Western astrology and psychodynamic Western astrology, which I trained in the 90s. It's a wonderful combination. It's there for you. So, listen to this statement that Venus is moving into troubled waters And so there's a need to hang on to the Venus awarenesses and inspirations that we're holding, which developed during February when Venus was in Vedic Pisces. So what's wrong with Venus in Vedic Aries? Well, Aries is ruled by Mars, and contrary to common Western culture, Venus and Mars are not best partners. It's a superficial viewpoint. Venus flowers best when there's calm and support, and obviously the Venus-Mars combination can get us into trouble. And so certainly when Venus is transiting Vedic Aries, as it is in March until the 28th, there could be arguing and conflict. Well, try and stop that dead. Agree with your loving partner not to do that, because we have been offered the better vision, and let's bring that forward forever. And indeed, the 3 nakshatras that are within Vedic Aries, Venus doesn't do that well there either. I mean, Ashwini is a wonderful healing energy, but it's very impatient. And Bharani, the 2nd nakshatra, admires beauty and luxury, but it has the energy of the bull elephant, so it can be aggressive, domineering and selfish. And the first 4 degrees of the 3rd nakshatra, Kritika, also lie within Aries, and Venus in Kritika can have sexual issues. So what I'm saying is there is a rich, multifaceted declaration of how Venus is affected when it goes through Aries and through the 3 nakshatras that are within the sign of Vedic Aries. And in fact, our maybe problematic experiences of Venus can be a prompt for healing. And my wife Maggie Pashley does many online healings, including heart wall clearing. We can build up a heart wall that makes us immune to love. There can be past life issues, there can be future life healing, emotion code and body code. Look at those on www.maggiepashley.com. In fact, on the 28th of March, Venus enters Vedic Taurus, where Venus is there for a long time, until the 31st of July, and will do very well. But the point I'm making is, use the more unsettled time of Venus in Aries this month to heal and prepare for the more solid and satisfactory context for Venus when Shukra, Venus, enters Vedic Taurus. Don't just say, oh, well, it won't take long, we'll just live through it. Use what comes up for healing and growth in matters of love and beauty. And of course, money issues can come in as well. And depending on which sign your moon or ascendant is, that can be gain of money or loss of money. And I'm, make a little mention of 2 or 3 example signs, and you can get a reading from me for your astrology at this time. The other point to make is that Venus is indeed in a bad state in Vedic Aries at a time when huge destructive forces are gathering because of the 4-planet combination at the start of Vedic Capricorn in Uttarashada Nakshatra. That's covered in the part 1 blog and video for this month's Astrology and Healing newsletter. It's huge, it's crucially important. But wouldn't it be good if we can create a good agenda for love, beauty and arts? Keep that going through March, rather than have conflicts in that area at the same time as some utterly huge destructive forces are becoming more and more present. And that's not negative, because of course destruction can be at its highest a spiritually valuable and needed thing that we need to do so that we can move forward in the proper way for our spiritual destiny in this life. So I hope these comments on the standing of Venus in March 2020 are of help. Thank you.